Hey, quick little heads up before the intro kicks in. Caleb got a notification when exporting his audio that he may have audio dropouts, which we've never gotten before. So we don't know if they're actually going to be in this episode or if it actually worked out. So if you hear random drops, that's what that is. Just want to give that heads up. Okay, we're going to start.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Nick and Tub podcast. This is episode 81, and it is a fresh freaking Monday when we're posting this. I don't know when you're listening, though. But we have another episode for you. Put it any other way.
Just going to sit here and trash the human race for about an hour and hope you enjoy it. There's a lot of stupid shit that we bring up. It's actually it was a fun conversation, as they always are.
Mm-hmm. We dive into technology, modern day, crazy shit that happened in the past, massive fucking Australian animals.
The extinction and how humans did that to animals too. That was fun.
Bunch of fun facts and opinion takes and you know the thing. Come on. And with that being said, please welcome Nick and Tub on episode 81 as we start the episode now. Yes!
Welcome to the Nick and Tub podcast. That was good.
Yep.
Again, I'm always fucking stoked on it.
I want that fucking dumb podcast. I like it.
It's fucking good shit. That was so good.
Dude, this is the best fucking thing we've ever done.
I was in a group text with my brothers this morning, and one of them had kicked his shin so hard that he said the vein had hardened and thought, oh shit, it's 11 o'clock at night. I'm going to die. Like, the vein shouldn't harden after like slamming your shin. And we started talking about how like now he has a bruise, the vein's back to normal. The nurse that he got a hold of told him it was fine and that blood clots weren't hereditary, which they are, because like blood clots run in the family. So him having one of his veins harden up like that, we're like, oh shit, blood clot can fucking shoot to his heart, all that different shit that happens in my family a lot. And clotting's a big thing with us. And it made me start thinking about a thought that I had this week where it's like because he had said in the moment where he hit it, he's like, wait, is this it? Is this how I'm gonna die? Like, is my body that weak that I'm gonna slam my shin into something, the vein's gonna harden, and then I just get a blood clot and die? And it made me start thinking about like
Best species on the planet.
right? Like, honestly, if you do think about it, we're so goddamn fragile. We're
we're
fragile.
soft, weak little bitches. We just know how to throw shit.
We
and
fucking
make shit.
We suck. Like, our brain is great, but our bodies are not. Like, our defense, just from us, like no weapons, is our nails, which are just trash. Like, they're brittle and they break. You look at a bobcat, and it's like that thing could literally tear your body to shreds with one nail. Like, it could just fucking, And so, I was gonna ask you after I explain. I was streaming on Friday. Oh, today's Sunday. Holy shit! I was streaming on Friday, and I started feeling this migraine come on, which I have the two screens, the two lights, and talking to people. I have the headphones on. I'm playing a game. Like, of course, like at some point, your brain's gonna fucking hurt.
You're just bombarding yourself with stimulus.
So much shit going on. And so I started feeling like this migraine set in on the top of my head, and it was going what felt like in the center of my brain. There wasn't any other pain anywhere else. I was like, Jesus Christ, what is this thing? Like, is it going from the inside out and it's just gonna like tear me to shreds?
You're like, cancer.
And and like, I can't concentrate. I can feel my eyes starting to not like work properly. And like, it's just, when you get a headache, if you get a really bad headache, people who have like chronic migraines can't leave their fucking bed. They can't get out of bed. They have to have blackout curtains. They're done for the day. It's like you can get this fucking thing that you can't make sense of, and it can cripple you. And I was like, the migraine doesn't make sense though, because I do this like 3 times a week, if not more. And why now? And I went and felt where my headphones were sitting, and for people that aren't watching and just listening, I have it's like a hard band at the top, but then an elastic band that separates the hard band from my head, and it's actually it allows more comfort. Um, the elastic band was sitting on top of my hat, but right on top of the metal piece that sits on your hat. And so it's
That's
pulling it
funny.
into my head. And that after 4 hours, I literally moved the band, and no bullshit, within 5 or 10 seconds, the migraine's gone. And I was like, oh, it wasn't a migraine. It was literally like the pressure of
Just a
that metal
pressure
piece.
point.
And it was just pushing on it to the point where legitimately it felt like my eyes wanted to close. Like that's how bad. And I was like, we're
You're like,
so
I'm gonna sleep.
I was like, we're so brittle. And like I started explaining it to the people that I'm playing with, and I tried to make it relatable because like people were like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, okay, um, do you ever wear headphones for too long? Have you ever worn over the ear headphones for like more than this podcast?
Yeah.
Do you ever get the really like sensitive ears afterwards?
If so, it doesn't last very long.
Okay. So mine like will last the next day. If I put on the headphones again, I can feel like this little fucking this sharp pain in the cartilage of my ears. And
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
okay, so that, right? And
Yeah.
the other one that got brought up by Brandon, he was like, "Oh, yeah, I know what pain you're talking about. When I wear a beanie for too long and it holds my hair in place, and then you go to take the beanie off and move your hair, and you're like, oh my fucking God, like the hair."
Dude, yeah, it's pure follicle pain.
And it's like you can feel every fucking strand, and you're like, the only way I could fix this is if I shower, and I have to be very careful, otherwise it's gonna fucking hurt. And I'm like, we're such fragile little things, dude.
We're such bitches.
Like you can fucking cut your thumb deep enough, and if you don't get it fixed, like you can fucking bleed out. Like,
Yeah.
what is that? That doesn't, I don't know.
Meanwhile, the that little microscopic animal, the water bear, can like live in space and volcanoes and underwater and in ice.
So I was gonna ask you, do you have any like random pains that you ever get?
Well, it's just like yeah. I mean, there's like the bullshit ones where you're just like I inhaled too deep and now I feel like I'm stabbed.
Or like,
and you can't fucking figure out what it's for. Like, oh no, like I got a hangnail and now I'm fucking crippled.
right, and that's what I'm saying. And then you have like your foot cramps,
Like I can't bite ice cream,
dude. Right, and I'm an idiot. I have no enamel on my teeth. I've grinded it away over the years.
Ew.
Yeah, there's nothing I can fucking do. I mean, I can wear a mouth guard now, but they're like, hey, you have no enamel. But I've gotten so used to it that probably what feels extremely sensitive to other people doesn't bother me. I'll still like chew on ice. I don't give a shit. It's the fuck was I gonna say? Like the foot cramp, and then we were talking about but yeah, it's just like biting into ice cream. If it's like the wrong day, like your teeth are just a little bit more sensitive, like that could literally make your whole body cringe, and then you're frozen for a second because the fucking pain in your jaw just is unbearable. Foot cramps are a big one. Like that.
I remember I was swimming and like my foot cramped up, like the arc of my foot. And I was just like, oh, this is how I die. like okay, I guess this is where my life ends.
It's so stupid how fucking, dude, you're swimming and your foot cramps and you could die because the pain is so bad that you can't move that foot anymore and you sink. And I guarantee, out of everyone that's ever lived, that's happened for sure.
Oh, probably like thousands of times. And then there are people who like try to commit suicide by jumping off the San Francisco State Bridge and live. Like they hit concrete basically, and they live.
That Bill Burr, you've heard that joke from him, right? Where the guy had cancer, jumped out of a helicopter. He's like, 3 more seconds of pain, 2 more seconds of pain, 1 more. Pff. Ah! He said he jumped out, hit the water, thought that was going to be it for him, and actually lived enough to feel the pain, and then died on the way to the hospital.
Oh,
like that's so fucked up, dude. But yeah, like die from a fucking foot cramping, but don't die from jumping off a bridge. Cool.
And it's crazy how quickly you can just like go.
Mm-hmm.
So many videos of people just walking down the street and a tire just kills them, like runaway, like 60-mile-an-hour tire.
It's
Just
not funny,
fucking,
but it's so
it
fucking
snuffs them
random.
out. Like you're just walking down
Oh.
the marketplace in a second world country because that's typically where the videos are.
Mhm.
And next thing you know, everything is dark and you're looking at God.
Dude. Everything dark. Um, there was you can also fucking die from holding in your sneezes, which is why I tell people like don't hold in your sneezes. That is literally 100 miles per hour worth of wind trying to leave your body. I looked it up just to be sure because
Yeah, so you're gonna have to look that up for me because I'm skeptical
I-
as hell.
So, according to experts, the pressure caused by holding in a sneeze can potentially lead to a rupturing of a brain aneurysm. This is a life threatening injury that can lead to the bleeding in the skull around the brain because you're holding in too
Okay.
much pressure, right? And if it
Mhm.
doesn't exit, it's going to disperse throughout your body. And since it's coming
Mhm.
out here, it's going to disperse toward your brain and it causes too much pressure. And then that's it. Like, you're holding, like, some sneezes can have 100 miles per hour worth of wind come out of you and you're
Those
holding it in.
motherfuckers are terrified.
Huh?
I said those motherfuckers are terrifying.
But like something that
Those are the super spreaders.
your body naturally does when your nose tickles and you're just like and then you if you do that you could die, you could
Just
literally die,
Just
dude. It's so fucked up.
I always think of like nobody ever thinks about like people. All right, let me rewind this like 3 multiple sentences I just started. Everybody always thinks about the weird ways people die. No one ever thinks about how awkward the funerals have to be.
Mhm. That's
Like,
actually
can you imagine? Like, someone sneezed and it gave themselves an aneurysm and died, and you have to go to the funeral of that person and pretend like this whole thing isn't a joke.
yeah, like that's what my brother had said in the text. He was like, how did how did he die? He slammed his shin into the fucking edge of the bath or something. Like you can't make that shit up.
I mean, yeah, people have slipped in the shower and hit their head and just dead.
I can't believe like
It's
how
like, holy
dangerous a
crap.
shower can be. If I've fallen out of a shower before, straight out from the shower, slipped like legs out, took the curtain with me, hit the toilet on the way down on my ribs, and just slammed onto the floor. And I was like, that could have been it. I could have hit my head on the toilet like that.
Mhm.
You're just fucking showering, dude. Like I don't know. What was the other one that? Oh, my grandma had sneezed once so hard that she broke a rib. Again, natural things your body does, and then bones just snap in half. Uh,
And natural doesn't mean good for you. Your body does a lot of shit where it's just like, this is just all I know.
natural
I'm
disasters.
sorry.
Natural doesn't mean good for you. I like that.
Oh, I mean, fucking snake venom is natural.
That shit's crazy too, dude. Like, I think it was a spider or no, it had to have been a snake. Where like the venom, if it gets into your bloodstream after like a couple minutes, it solidifies the blood.
Yeah,
It
I've
turns
heard
it
of
into
that one.
cement, dude.
Yeah, it's just like probably just like thick goop.
That's so fucking crazy. Then you have like the other crazy ones where it's like what was it? This woman went ziplining in some forest in a different country and the zip line had broken and she fell down into the forest and surprisingly enough didn't like get any crazy major injuries, but she did have cuts all over her body but landed in a body of water. And when they took her to the hospital, she started getting like really sick really fast and they found out that she had a parasite in her body, but it was one that they had never seen before. And so they didn't know what to do. And what the parasite was doing was starting at her fingertips and the tips of her toes and started eating away toward her body and eventually
Mm.
killed her because they couldn't stop it.
Fucking Christ.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
Yeah, I mean, like that's why it bugs the fuck out of me when people are like, "Oh, like I don't want to eat that because it's not like natural. Like I just like organic and natural." And it's like piranhas are fucking natural. Like,
Mhm.
what the fuck are you getting at? Like, they're you 60% of all mushrooms will fucking kill you. And they go straight out of the ground. Like, poison ivy comes from Mother Earth. Natural does not mean good for you. Natural doesn't mean safe. Natural just means natural.
Right.
And that's it.
There are fucking leaves that can give you rashes. There are leaves that can actually fucking kill you. There are insects that are what millions of times smaller than you that one bite could probably fucking kill you. I mean, you have spiders that can kill
Mhm.
you, snakes that can kill you.
Just visit Australia.
The Australians that hang out in the stream and that we play games with sometimes um always talk about, like, I'll be playing that Star Wars game that recently came out, that Jedi Fallen Order one, and
Mhm.
there's huge fucking spiders that you fight that are like 3 times the size of you, and they're like, "Oh, look, the Aussie spiders are back." And I'm like, "That's not a joke. Like, you fuckers have spiders out there that are like pretty much the size of your goddamn forearm." Like,
Mhm.
um,
It's funny to I've gotten a taste of the flip perspective on that.
mm,
I was at a buddy's wedding and or pre-wedding party, and one of the girls was from like North Carolina,
mhm,
and when she was out here, the forest fires were just fucking like raging
mhm.
out in the distance, and she was like, "Is this normal for you guys?" And we were like, "Yeah." And she was like, "You guys just are fine with everything being on fire?"
Fucker.
We were like, "It's every year, man."
It's that fucking meme.
It's
It's this is fine, and you're sitting there drinking your coffee, but the
Mhm.
room's on fire.
Dude, yeah, it was when like the entire skies were just like covered
Mhm.
and then it would clear up for a day and you'd see like the giant pillar plume of smoke over the mountains,
So
and you're just
fucking
like, "Oh,
nuts.
it's still going, I guess."
It's nuts, dude. Like, I
And they're like, What the fuck? How are you not reacting? How is this not scaring you?" And we're like, if it happens, it happens."
literally, we're at a point where unless it's like 5 miles, 10 miles from your house, you don't give a fuck. Like, what are you gonna
No,
do?
no. And even what it is, it's like they say to evacuate now, but I think I'll wait a day.
Dude, yeah, there are people that are like, "Oh, I need to go back home," and they're like, "You do understand that no bullshit. You can feel the heat from the flames from your house." And they're like, "Yeah, but I need to I need to get these things really quick. Like, they matter." Um,
Yeah, or like the entire ground will shake us, and we'll be like, "Ooh, that was a big one."
we're like, "Ooh, dude,
Would you guys feel that?
that one that we had being, in the what was that? Last year? Was it last year? Like beginning of last year? The big fucking earthquake that like was actually shaking the ground. I think you and Danny were at like LAX at the time or some shit.
That we were in Santa Monica. That was around 4th of July.
Was it? Yeah, yeah.
We had
Okay, somewhere
earthquakes that
around there.
hit around 4th of July.
But like that was the first one where being on the second story of the apartment complex that I was at, where, if you jumped, the entire apartment would shake.
Oh yeah.
Having that shake the apartment, that was where I was like, okay, this isn't a fun, like, oh, that was a big one. This is a, oh shit, I need to get out of here. This place might actually fall down. And then actually feeling the ground beneath you shake. And it's like, yeah, but this happens. This is a thing.
Yeah, because like each time an earthquake's happened, at first I always have to check if it's me, if I'm just
Mhm.
getting dizzy out of nowhere or like just getting lightheaded. Because there have been times where I'm just like, I'll be like super fucking tired and I've been staring at my phone for too long, and then I like look up and kind of get like a whoa 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 type feeling in my head, and
That's
my
natural.
initial reaction is like earthquake, and then I stop and I kind of like look at things that are hanging and see if they're like moving, and I'm like, no, just me.
Just have one thing hanging in your room just to be sure if it's an earthquake or not.
Oh, dude, I always check the ceiling fan, like the little
Oh,
two
yeah.
fucking balls. I don't know what to call them.
What do you call those? Pull the lever, Kronk. But what do you actually pull? What do you call those? The pulleys?
They're like they're like chain switches, I guess. I don't know.
The fact that we don't know the name for those, I want to know now.
Guys, feel free to DM us with what you call the two chain and balls hanging from your ceiling fan.
The lever, pull the lever, Kronk. I'm gonna call it the lever now. But dude, having to check because when the heat was kicking up and playing fucking games and trying to stream cooks up the computer. The room typically gets pretty hot, and we don't like to run the air too
Mhm.
much because the bill and all that other stuff. So I would open up the window. But the fact that I had to check the air quality before I opened up my window when the fires were kicking up, I was like, this is such a weird, like, that's the only time where it
Yeah.
was bothersome. Bothersome in the way of like, okay, I should worry about this because that shit is not safe to breathe in. And you have people like, I remember I was talking to Brandon about it. And he was going on morning runs, and he was like, yeah, typically the mornings aren't too bad because the winds had shifted. But he was like, there was one morning I went, and he was like, I probably shouldn't have ran because it was really bad air quality. He's talking like brown on the ground type thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's so fucking nuts. That's when it kicks in. Like, okay, this smoke that is miles away, if I breathe it in because I'm a weak human being, it'll just like, I'll die. I'll get some type of fucking poisoning or whatever.
Some type of carcinogen.
Dude, the smell that I still need to get my filters changed on my car. The smell that lingers in there after like a fire season is so it smells like the worst. You know when people smoke in their house for years and it's not like the Vegas
God.
smoke smell, it's like the really bad smoke smell.
Vegas smoke smell. It's not a casino smoke.
That's literally like Vegas smoke and in casinos. That smell is completely different because that's all mixed.
I'm like, sin.
Which that just as much as I enjoy the smell of gasoline, I enjoy the smell of casinos in Vegas.
Vegas casinos. Dude, me too. And I hate cigarettes. Like, I hate
Yeah.
cigarettes. I'll hold my breath past people who are smoking them. And then I walk in a casino. I'm like, oh, yes.
Because it's all pumped full of the different scents. It's the same thing as Disneyland. Like, there's scents that are pumped into the casinos to make you want to continue gambling, all the different noises, the sensory shit that they send in there. Like, so I think that's why when you go in there, you're like, oh, this smells like it's about to be a really good time. Like, but I have that old person fucking smoking in their house for the past 40 years, smelling my car when I first kick it up because of the filter. It's fucking terrible, dude. I hate the smell of that shit.
Yeah.
What were you gonna bring up?
So we brought up like animals in Australia and shit, and I learned some shit from the book that I'm listening to that was super fucking interesting.
Wait, is this a book from Libby?
Never heard of it. Yes, it is. And I already told a couple people about this, so they'll hear it again. But fuck them.
Fuck them.
Did you know that the biggest animal in Australia is the kangaroo? They don't have anything bigger.
Interesting. Okay.
And so, I was learning about like hunter gatherers and when people were migrating and first discovering like new lands, like when the Native Americans first settled in the Americas, and when the Aboriginal Australians first settled in Australia. And one thing that both of these groups did the same, which was they settled here right towards the end of the Ice Age, and they proceeded to hunt all of the big animals to extinction. And that's why like there aren't that many big animals that are native to like the Americas or to Australia. And it's because there used to be, and then they killed them all. And
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was like these things had lived through climate changes and ice ages all the time. Everything was fine. And then humans popped up. And then within like, I think it was like 1,000 years, they were dead. Like just gone from the fossil record. And so I was like, okay, you know, if Australia's crazy now, what kind of shit did they used to have? Oh my God, dude. So they're called megafauna, which is just like science talk for big animal. But when you look it up, dude, they had so the average, I think the average red kangaroo, which is their big kangaroo now, is like around 100 pounds. They had kangaroos that were 1,000 pounds. And could like stand up and be like almost the size of the tree and like just reach in the tree and eat.
That's a big bitch.
Dude, they had marsupial leopards.
That sounds terrifying as fuck.
Yeah, they had land crocodiles.
Somebody hold on.
That were fucking massive, dude.
Side note, somebody combined like a dog and a crocodile and
I saw
and
that.
said, "What are you doing if this motherfucker comes running at you?" And I was like, honestly, dude, if I saw that fucking thing, I'd either book it running or just shoot it dead if it was coming at me. Like that was the most terrifying combination of things I'd ever seen.
Yeah, people know how to. People know how to tap into our instincts and make shit fucking
So
terrifying.
fucking. Okay, so what's a
So
marsupial
I'm
leopard do that's different from a leopard? Because I forget what marsupials,
well,
other than like
marsupials
some
are
eat
just
from the
like
ass up, and others have like random pouches right near their asshole where their kids get just so fucked up.
you remember all the important details. I
Yes,
see.
yes, the ones that I find
All right,
fascinating.
so here, I'm gonna screen share for this.
Okay. If it knocks
just so
out
you
your
can see some
sound, I'm gonna
pictures.
let you know quickly because for some reason it
Okay,
does that
okay.
sometimes.
So, when you Google
Jesus
Australian megafauna, can you still hear me?
Christ, yeah. What the fuck?
So
if you guys want to see it, we're
this
showing
was
it
their
on the
wombat.
podcast.
So
Holy
we're
fuck.
gonna convert to kilograms.
Okay, so if you don't want to
to
switch over, the wombat is like about up to a normal
30
human's knee.
kilograms.
Or
Yeah,
your
and
average
everyone knows,
average
like,
human.
what a
Sorry, I
wombat
want
is,
to make
like
sure I
the-
say that correctly.
Yeah, so the wombats are like those like almost like dog looking rats. Like they're super fucking big. They live in Australia. Average wombat about 30 kilograms. Average human here is about 60 kilograms.
Which kilogram I think is like 2.2. What I just learned, 2.2 for pounds. So like
You know what? We can
average human is the dark web. So I think like 60 kilograms
Pounds
is like
to
100
kilograms.
and 120-ish pounds.
1 pound is like about half a kilogram. So,
You gotta
actually,
do it
wait, let's do
backwards.
this. There we go. I can fucking type. So
60.
30 pounds, 30 kilograms is 60 pounds. And they said the average. Oh, so this is like because it has a picture of a woman. So they're saying
Yeah,
this woman
so
is
130.
132
Okay, yeah.
pounds.
So it's 2.2.
But this this ancient wombat was 1,060 kilograms, which is 2,557 pounds. This thing weighed over a ton.
Whoa, dude, that thing's fucking terrifying looking. It's like a Pokemon. There's so many combinations.
Here's the
So, hold on. The
kangaroo that
ancient
can reach into
wombat,
the trees and eat.
the ancient wombat's fucking standing height on all, well, not standing, but on all fours goes up to about the woman's shoulder, but is like the length of maybe the woman and a half on its
It's
side.
probably like 8-9 feet long.
Jesus Christ. And then that kangaroo, dude. Imagine seeing, yo, fuck that. Fuck that. That thing's huge. Is that the marsupial leopard?
Yeah,
Like right there?
no, that's a Tasmanian tiger.
Get the
oh,
fuck
this
out of
is
here,
the
Tasmanian
marsupial
tiger.
leopard.
That thing literally is one of the most terrifying fucking cats I've ever seen, dude.
It's
That
like
thing looks
a
like
rat
a fucking
and
demon.
leopard.
Yeah,
it does
does.
look like a demon.
Dude, that's fucking
What else
nuts.
we got here? These things were
Ugh.
weird, dude. And to think, like, if the hunter-gatherers had known that, like, their habits would kill off these things, and had they played it right, these things would still be around
Land
today.
crocodile. That land. Okay, obviously that's fake, but that's where I kill myself. That thing walking on the road, and it's as big as a fucking electrical. What is that? The fucking electric wire stands. The fucking poles. The electric poles. Jesus Christ, Nick.
Yeah.
It being that large, fuck that. No.
Dude, yeah.
No. No. No to all of
These
this.
things
Sorry for
these
people just
things were
listening. He's showing me
fucking
like
crazy.
this is
Yeah,
like
I'll,
one of
I'll
my
try and
favorite
describe them
like
as best
legitimate
as possible.
my legitimate favorite pastimes is looking at like random shit that used to exist, like random animals. And I guarantee
yeah,
you
'cause
some
they're-
crazy
they're-
fucker out
they're
there used to
fucking
have one of these as
crazy.
a pet.
Yeah, very well might have.
That's fucking nuts.
So the fun thing is, I was talking to Danny about this the other day, and because I was nerding out about him, and the I gotta show you what the biggest land mammal ever was, because the elephant's the current biggest one,
Mhm.
but the ones before it were really big, and they were a like ancestor of the rhino,
Okay.
but these didn't have a horn, and they're called Paraceratherium. So let's type that in. Paraceratherium. You can still see everything.
Yeah. Near horn beast.
This was the Paraceratherium, and these were alive in the Ice Age.
Wait, are you showing it? Because I can't see
Yeah,
it.
is it popping up?
No, it just says the pounds to kilograms thing. I can see your mouse moving though, which is weird. Oh, probably because you took it from one browser. That's the sensitivity of
Yeah, you're right.
yeah. It's weird. I can see the mouse.
How's that?
moving. Yo, fuck that shit. That thing is a 3-story building. Fuck. Oh my god, it's larger than an elephant by leaps and bounds. It's
For
like
anyone
a
who wants to look it up, Paraceratherium, Paraceratherium.
dude. Okay, so take an elephant, extend its legs by like oh nah, dude. That's like a horse elephant hybrid.
Dinosaur.
Dude, honestly, I'm kind of upset that things like this don't exist. Like, I'm
Oh, me
genuinely
too.
upset.
Oh, me too. I'm fucking bummed. Without a doubt. You can see the
Because,
size
like,
of the skull
guarantee
next to a
you
person.
they, other than maybe like crops here and there, they probably just lived on their own and did their thing and they didn't bother nobody. And then
Yeah.
everyone just went out and fucking shot them dead. I'm just kidding. These
So,
things didn't exist at the time.
where
right?
did Paraceratherium live?
Right? These are like ancient, or are we talking like these are the things that people took out in Australia?
Extinct genus is one of the largest terrestrial animals that lived from the Oligocene. It remains to have been found across Eurasia and the Balkans. When did it live? 23 million years ago.
Oh, yeah, nah. We're good.
Yeah.
How long have humans been around again? Fucking
Modern humans, I think like 200,000 years or something like that.
oh,
Yeah, it went extinct way back then.
way back then. Why does it say 34 to 23 million years ago? Why is it backwards? I guess
because 23 million years ago is sooner.
yeah, fuck that.
7 million
When
years
did-
ago is when modern humans,
I was gonna say I thought it was like 5, somewhere around there. Okay,
and they
Still, we
were
didn't see
flaking
those.
crude stone tools by 2.5 million years ago.
I can't wait to die and become a human. You know, once I have to live every human's life in order to become a god, because that's what I believe in, and I get to actually see bigger fucking creatures.
Here, I'll show
Damn,
you
that's crazy.
the Tasmanian tiger, the one that was in the picture with the giant fucking Australian kangaroos and shit. That went extinct in the 1930s.
Excuse me?
Yep.
No.
Here's pictures of them,
Mm-mm.
like real black and white
Oh,
photos.
that thing, the third picture. I've seen that fucking thing before, and I was like, I kicked that fucking thing in the face if it was ever near me.
Look how big its jaw gets.
It's like it doesn't. Oh, nah. Nope. Nah. Dude, it doesn't make sense. That's weird as fuck looking.
Yep. These things were around, and then
Humans said,
Australian
"Fuck that."
farmers killed them all, basically, yeah.
I
People
like
still
how
have
I watched a
sightings of them.
video. I watched a video of this guy having his fucking crops, like he had a little garden, being fucked up by these what are they? What are the little fucking bucktooth jackrabbit monkey boys looking like things? the fuck are those? They build dams. Why can't I think of what they
Beavers.
are? Beavers. Jesus Christ. I think it was a beaver or something else. Anyway, they were fucking eating his crops and they were eating up his garden. So rather than like putting out traps to kill him, he just made them their own garden, and then they made a family. So now it's
Oh,
like
it
a
was
family
I
of.
saw that. It was the groundhogs.
Were they groundhogs?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. But uh, rather than shooting them dead, the guy was like, "I have a heart. I'll just feed your family because you guys obviously like coming over here." How
Yeah,
it
he's
kept
like
eating all his food in the fucking camera.
he's like, let me give you your own garden.
Yeah, I thought it was cute. I thought it was super fucking sweet and very like humane of him to do.
No, I agree.
Meanwhile,
He is the exception, not the rule, for sure.
back then, we want just because we probably don't like the way these things look, let's just fucking put them out. Like
Well, dude, like people who used to be like scientists back in the day before science was really like
science.
meticulous and people
Yeah.
cared about it. If they wanted to learn about the animals, they just kill them and then like dissect them. So like people would go to like far off islands and then just like accidentally make a species extinct because they needed specimens.
Jesus Christ. It's so scary to me that we have no idea what like really exists at the bottom of the ocean or anywhere in the ocean for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have a very little understanding of it.
Yeah. I mean, like I think it's so cool that within the past decade, a giant squid went from like mythology to holy shit, they're real. Here's a live
Yeah.
one. Or not mythology because they had found dead ones washed up, but we had never seen a real live giant squid. And then
Right.
we found a giant squid and we were like, oh my God, this is fucking crazy, terrifying. And then we found the colossal squid, which was bigger than the giant squid.
There was a guy on Whitney Cummings' podcast. I just saw a clip of it. So I don't know what they were talking about in full. I just saw the clip and I'm probably going to butcher it. But pretty much he was talking about like how intelligent squids are and how he said after he learned about squids and whatnot, because he studies them now. I forgot what else he does. But that like they have, I think their brain is in one of their arms. And they also have 2 or 3 hearts.
Mm-hmm.
And like they have a whole thought process and they're actually fucking smart, and that
Oh yeah, octopuses
um
are really fucking smart.
and the camouflaging, dude, that's the one that really rocks my fucking brain. Like
Yeah.
the fact that there are things out there, because I don't even know what are they classified as, what are octopus classified as, right? Okay, cool. I don't feel dumb fucking
let's
asking
figure
that.
out what Google says.
Because like whenever I think of animals, I just think of like in my head it's animals or insects. That's it. That's the only 2 things that exist. But I know obviously there's
plants.
more. Huh?
I said I think the same, but and plants.
Yeah.
It's I think it's the mollusk family.
See, I have no fucking idea what that even means.
A mollusk?
Like, what's a dolphin?
A dolphin's a mammal, pretty sure.
So what's the difference between a mammal and an animal?
A mammal is a type of animal. Like it's a sub.
I eat my
Set.
fucking ass. I don't care.
Don't ask. Damn.
I don't- no, not you. I mean, like as a general statement. Jesus Christ. No, like that's just so fucking. It's too much for me.
Yeah. So, here, let me just Google this. Is a dolphin a mammal? Is a dolphin a mammal? Oh, the first fucking thing that pops up. It's listening to me.
How many different types of animals are there, and what are there?
Yeah, dolphins are mammals. So
Okay.
I think it's called like the life taxonomy.
You just spoke Spanish to me. I have no idea what you said.
So, okay, here we go. I'll screen share again for you, Nick, so that we can.
Okay.
this one
Yay,
down.
lessons. We'll
It's,
say these things out loud for everybody that needs to hear it as well while you're listening.
Okay, here we go. Boom, pulled it up. So there are 8. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different subsets that things get broken down to, and it goes domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and then species.
Right, but underneath them has the other words.
Yeah, so these other words are going for the example of a red fox. So I believe domain is literally like it says eukarya, which just means it's a multi-celled organism. And then kingdom.
Fuck off.
Well, because there's so many organisms that are just one cell, and there's like so many different types of them that they need their own like side of the life tree.
Yeah.
And then kingdom, fox is in the Animalia kingdom. Phylum Chordata, whatever that one means, class Mammalia. So I guess if you want to find out if an animal is a mammal or not, you have to find out what class they are. Order, Carnivora, family Canidae, genus Vulpes, species Vulpes vulpes.
All right, eat fucking shit, Vulpes. Like, just, I don't know.
It's okay, Nick. It's just science.
It's just there's so much, dude. That's why when I start talking about things that live in the ocean, I just go, yeah, I'll say its name, but I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't know what you classify it as. I don't know if it's an animal. I don't know if it's a fucking, because like, are amphibians part of the animal kingdom?
Are amphibians
Or are they their own, like,
in Animalia?
nice images? Frogs. Sick.
Actually, let me just see.
You think anybody listening is losing their mind by all these fucking pauses?
I hope not. I hope they're all having a great fucking time. See, this is the actual full tree.
By the way, when you do this, you come through so goddamn laggy.
Oh, sorry.
Nope. Close it. I give up.
Yeah, so you can't make any sense out of that.
I don't even know what I'm looking at. That kind of looks like a fucking...
It looks like a Death Star for everyone who wants to see.
It's like a goddamn dream catcher. Fuck that.
Yeah, it looks like a dream catcher full of different like species and phylum and all that stuff.
Oh my god, no. No.
And this
I give
is
up.
how
everything's an animal, insect, or plant. That's it.
Down.
Bacteria. Archaea. What the fuck is that word? Eukaryota. Okay. By the way, the word eukaryota. Hey, get rid of it.
Here,
Chordata, mollusca, arthropoda. All right, we got to get the fuck off this after this because I'm losing my goddamn mind.
Yeah. I'm chilling.
Dude. So
yeah,
anyway,
life is like there's a lot of shit out there.
The fact that there are things out there that can camouflage into their surroundings that they're on, that is literally, I think, one of the coolest fucking things to ever exist.
It's so magic. Like,
yeah,
it's just
it doesn't make sense.
Totally not understandable.
Like, imagine if I always wonder what science will eventually bring. You know, because God's definitely going to bring us superpowers, but what science is definitely going to bring for us, where it's like, oh, we learned how to, if we change this gene inside you, or you know, this part of your DNA, and twist this tiny little thing, and then you can just like touch anything and become like that thing's color. Like you can just start blending into whatever.
Yeah.
It's so fucking nuts.
I wonder if they have an explanation, because you have things like octopus can do it, cuttlefish can do it, chameleons can do it, and like chameleons and octopus are far fucking different animals. And so it's just like how? Like what the fuck do they do? Because like when it comes to color, there's like a couple different ways they could go about it. Like for instance, I think it's the butterfly that's like really big and blue. It's not actually blue. It reflects light off of it that is blue light, and that's what makes it blue. But like the material of it isn't actually blue. And that's why like there's some reason that there's not a lot of like blue animals, like bright blue animals in nature. And it has to do with how hard it is to like make a like dye in the animal that's blue. And so for instance, the butterfly found a way around that, which was just like the way that its scales are on its wings, like reflect the light.
That's so fucking sick.
And so, like, is that how like chameleons do it? Like, do they just like change the way that the light is reflected off them, and that's how they like change the color, or do they actually like change the physical color?
That's kind of dope. There was I saw it on something. I think somebody had put it on a car at one point to make cars like translucent, quote unquote. What it was doing was the car was covered in like LCD panels, and the picture that it was showing was on the other side of the car was cameras.
Mm-hmm.
So you actually like got to see, technically through the car.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, yeah, sure, that works, but at the same time,
You're
like,
cheating.
yeah, it's the cheating way around it, but it still blows my fucking mind that that's a good. I like that, them changing they're just changing the angles and different directions that their scales are reflecting the light.
And yeah, the way the light refracts. I mean, when you think of like the like famous like glass prism that you can put up to light and it'll have a rainbow shoot out of it rather than light, and because like white light has all the colors of light in it, and then once it hits stuff, then it like refracts. And
Yeah.
so with that prism, just like whichever, like if you're shooting the light in someone's eye, like whichever direction you turn the prism, their light that they see will shift from like red to orange to yellow to green to blue to purple.
But the fact that they can go and stand on like a piece of wood and go this one, and they just fucking start. Oh, dude, that's so nuts. That's
Yeah.
fucking nuts. You can see it on like the octopus when it lands on like a rock when they're following it around and it's
Well,
trying
they
to keep
changed
itself safe.
Texture too.
Mm-hmm.
They,
Which
like, put,
like
like-
what the fuck is that?
They can go rough and smooth and thorny and whatever.
That's so fucking sick, dude. I hope they make sense of it one day. I mean, they have fucking
I'm sure
3D printers for
Yeah.
like parts, like human organs and your fucking arms and shit. Like they're starting to figure that out. So at some point, hopefully in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Do you go ahead?
No, I was about to bring up another point. Go on.
Do you feel like we kind of live in a really special time where we're getting to see things change? Because constantly, right? Like there's a new iPhone every year type thing. We're finding new technology. We're finding
Yeah.
new ways to build body parts.
We're voting on stem cell research.
Yeah, like there's a way to help deaf children hear now, or deaf people, period. There's certain hearing aids and certain surgeries and shit like that.
Elon
Where
Musk
we
wants to put a
live in
microchip in your
this-
brain.
Say again?
Elon Musk wants to put a microchip in your brain.
Right. And that's my point, where it's like this constant just straight up, like
Yeah.
on a scale, we're just shooting up. Whereas like, 40 years ago, absolutely not. Even 20 years ago, it wasn't even this fast all the time. But
Mhm.
I feel like we're in a very nice time to be the age that we are now.
Oh yeah.
Because imagine being like 80 and seeing this now, and you're like, motherfucker, like I don't have that much longer.
I was just thinking about that the other day. I regularly think about how lucky I am to be alive and just in the time that I'm alive in, especially because I've been learning about history a lot, and so I'm like, fuck, dude, like it was not that long ago. Like for instance, it said that modern humans started like making some form of tools 2.5 million years ago. The book I'm listening to, he was like, the Americas were finally settled with humans for the first time 11,000 years ago.
Damn.
It's not that long
No, not
at all. Especially when you think about how like ancient Egypt was like 5,000 years ago.
Was it really?
It was like, I believe it started around like 3000 BC.
That wasn't that long ago either.
Yeah. And
Weird.
And the world we live in is totally unrecognizable. You could take somebody from 12,000 BC and move them 6,000 years in the future, and they wouldn't fucking know. 6,000 years, dude. You took somebody from 100 years ago and moved them in the future, they'd probably die of shock.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a really good point. That's actually a really good point.
And so having that perspective of how crazy it is, because you always say like, it's moved at a certain pace and then in a straight line straight up. But when looking at the grand scheme of things, like we live in an alien futuristic sci-fi fucking world. And like lately I've been saying like Danny sent me something the other day and it was some crazy shit. I don't remember what it was, but I just remember my response was, damn, the future's crazy. But it was something that was happening right now because that's kind of how
Yeah.
you have to talk about it. Is we live in the future. It's just we take it for granted and we're like, oh yeah, wild times. But in
Yeah.
reality, like the thing that we're doing right now is so goddamn godlike and alien like that
Oh yeah.
nobody 200 years ago would have ever even thought of it. And
Dude, and everybody
here we
takes it
are.
for granted too. Like, oh, fucking YouTube went down the other day and it was like, hey, that's a huge thing that happened. And like, there's a lot of more moving parts than you could even possibly think of. So
Mhm.
like the fact that it's down, don't be like, oh, YouTube's trash. Fuck you. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like when it's so crazy because I could have my warehouse job, which would be a typical job, like probably 200 years ago, also, or 150 years ago. But then I can sit down for my 15-minute break, and I can play a high-speed, high-graphic Call of Duty video game on my phone where I am facing in real time people from Japan, Mexico, and Europe, and like Nebraska, all in the same match. And I
yep,
can shoot bullets at their character and they can die, and that'll happen close to
in
real
real
time
time.
on their phone.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
within milliseconds, you don't even notice it.
it
You're like,
doesn't
my
make sense.
ping's at 100. Oh, I'm lagging. It's like, which I complain about that all the time. But when I really think about it, I'm like, what the fuck am I complaining about,
Yeah,
dude?
this
I'm playing against 150 people in this game right now, and I lagged a little bit and went, motherfucker, I'm lagging. Like,
the
it is
naked
a
monkey is
huge,
angry that the magic box isn't as magic anymore.
like, I'll complain about the stupid things, but when I think about like YouTube going down, I'm like, yeah, dude, there's a lot that goes on there. Like, if it went down, something bad happened. Something
Mhm.
actually bad within that company happened, and they're trying to figure it out because they have a lot of fail safes so that shit doesn't happen.
Yeah, and like and at the same time, there are people who live in like islands and jungles and random ass areas that are still hunter gatherers.
I
They're
want to teach
still
you
like,
about Christianity. Just stabs you.
I
What
want
a
to give
fucking
you
idiot, dude.
smallpox.
Like, honestly, they're okay. I know some people are more sensitive to this, so just whatever. I don't care. But like, don't be a fucking idiot and go to an
No, yeah.
island full.
No, yeah.
You had it coming. That
They're throwing spears at helicopters, dude. They don't want to hear about Jesus. I'm sorry.
no, like they want to be left alone. Like, leave
Yeah,
them the fuck alone.
And the crazy thing is, like, so this is a fun fact I can bring up that makes a lot of sense and blew my fucking mind. So when the Europeans landed, like the Spanish, when they landed in like South America and Mesoamerica and those areas where like the Aztecs were and the Incans were, they killed, and I don't mean by their own hand killed, but when they got there within a short amount of time, years wise, 95% of the populations died.
Whoa.
And it was from disease.
Whoa.
It wasn't from pillaging and conquering and raping and burning the villages. It was from disease. The majority of ancient peoples in the Native Americas, from all the way from North America to South America, died from European diseases before they even heard what a European was.
That's why when people are like, you have the American coronavirus, I laugh at that because like because back then that actually, I don't know how it works now, but just the fact that like, yeah, dude, that guy who went over there that was trying to preach fucking Christianity
He
to
could have
the
given them the flu and wiped them out.
That's fucking nuts. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
dude.
I would
What a
like,
fucking selfish prick. You know what? You deserve that spear in the fucking head or
it's because
whatever
he
the fuck
didn't.
they
It's because
did.
he had no fucking idea what he was so misinformed on so many different things and just acted purely off of
God.
his calling, I guess. And you know that didn't end well.
God
But
said you need done. That's
dude,
it.
and so like the next question is, how come if these diseases are so deadly and they were able to wipe out 95% of a population, they didn't do it to the Europeans? Like, these were the people who experienced these diseases first. You think that shit would have fucking stopped them in their tracks. So, remember how I told you that when the native peoples first settled in these like areas like Australia and the Americas, they killed off like through hunting most of the megafauna
Mm-hmm.
that lived there? The consequence of that is as thousands of years pass and you go from hunting and gathering to farming and creating your own food rather than going in the wild to find it, they didn't have any large animals that they could domesticate. Whereas in like northern Africa, Europe, Asia, these places didn't kill off their megafauna to extinction. That's why we
Mm-hmm.
still have elephants and giraffes and like giant oxes and stuff like that. And so they were able to domesticate these animals and use them to plow the fields or make milk or
Mm-hmm.
have meat, manure, all that stuff. So because of that, they like most of these diseases like smallpox and influenza and coronavirus come from animals originally,
Right.
have a mutation to where that they can be contracted by humans
Mm-hmm.
and then become a human disease.
Yeah.
So when your civilization is capable of domesticating some of these bigger animals that live around you, you inevitably will catch diseases from them.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that humans kind of like progressed alongside with these animals in these different
They
continents,
conditioned themselves.
they got used to these diseases. They lived through them, they survived them, they grew resistances to them. And so they were used to these diseases already because they had lived generations upon generations with these animals.
Right.
The peoples in the Americas never had any domesticated animals. I think
No
Peru
shit.
had llamas, and like that was it.
Yeah.
And so they had no built up immunity. And so when you come over to these lands, even if you are not showing any symptoms, even if you're not sick, if your body is hosting some of these viruses and they get to people who aren't immune to them or haven't have a resistance build up, it is decimating. And
Yeah.
that's what happened. And that's why
And
like it just
that's
fucking
fucking nuts.
cleared them.
Because shit like that still kind of exists today, where it's like, if you get, like a common cold, don't go get fucking antibiotics right away. Whereas like that's what it was when I was a kid. My mom was just like, "Oh, you got sniffles. I'm gonna go get medicine for you." It's like, no, you have to build up the immune system
Mhm.
for that, so that the next thing doesn't fucking take you out even harder.
Yeah.
That's so.
That's why
I
like
didn't know that
that's
was
why like
why.
super clean freaks get sick really easy because they don't
Yeah.
have any of those
Howie
germs in
Mandel.
them already. Yeah.
Fu-
And so but that explains why these diseases were so like rampant, is because way back when they had killed off just through hunting all of these animals that could have been potential like domesticatable animals down the road. And so I think it's 13 out of the 14 most common domesticated animals have come from either Europe, Asia, or North Africa.
Hmm.
That's it. The chicken's from Asia, the ox is from the Middle East, the pig is from like the Eurasia area. All of these animals that are like worldwide and like domesticated and used everywhere all came from that same continent. And it was because that continent didn't have mass extinctions through hunting.
Just know we're not original, everybody. And if you learned anything here, it's a PSA from Nick and Tub ourselves. Go make out with a horse and lick a grocery cart. Build up that immunity. Make sure you stay safe and healthy during these really fucked up times. On on the side note, or back not side note, but back to the point we had about technology. When did because I have it here. When do you think the first iPhone came out?
2007.
No shit. Good for okay. Fuck you. What month?
September.
Okay. Well, actually, fucking close. Jesus. June 29th.
Nice.
So June 29th, 2007, right? So that
Mhm.
means take someone from 20 years ago today and throw them into now. And they'd be like, what the fuck is all of this? Is what they were
Oh, yeah.
talking about that's going to happen?
Dude,
That's
I mean,
fucking
like
nuts.
today, my mom came up to me and was like, "Oh, look at this! What I found!" And it was an old fucking slide keyboard phone,
Oh,
and those
shit.
were all the rage. I mean,
Like a
if you were
chocolate or a
hot shit,
fucking NV3 or a fucking
yeah,
sidekick.
like a kick. What was it? Yeah, like a sidekick. Like,
Sidekick, yeah.
and like I still remember being a kid and like watching Disney movies and seeing people like driving the car on the freeway and just thinking like, if you have a fat black Bluetooth headset and a BlackBerry phone, you're hot shit.
Yeah. Yeah, now
And
it's like,
now you ain't shit if you don't have anything other than a like buttonless screen in your pocket.
well, I mean, it's even getting to a point now where like you obviously have the old heads. I'm talking about people in like their 40s and 50s that are just like, give me a fucking flip phone. I don't care. I don't need all the social media. So that's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
And you have some people our age that want to do that because they just want to stay away from social media because it is goddamn poison. But like uh Brandon Ponchke has he always just gets hand me down phones because he's like, I don't care as long as it functions. Like I don't need to go spend $1,200 on the newest phone. I'll just take my brother's when he's done with it. So I think Ponchke has like a 7 or an 8 now,
mhm.
which
But
was just
nonetheless, a supercomputer with no buttons other than maybe like 3 or 4.
exactly. And I mean, like, it's getting to a point where it doesn't really matter. Like, I have
Yeah.
the 8 plus, and until the thing really starts shitting out, I mean, I might get a 12 just because, like, I like when phones are just goddamn lightning fast and it has a really nice
Mhm.
camera and it has all these cool little functionalities that this one doesn't. It's not that big of a deal though. So
And the
it's
battery. Oh,
yeah, that's the other big thing where it's like my phone's literally on the charger and has been for the past 3 hours, and it's only at 92%. And it's like I miss when I could just charge it for an hour and it was fine for like a day.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, dude, like 2007, right? Even if you went back then when the fuck is his name? He died. The
Steve
C
Jobs.
Steve Jobs. Take him into 2020 and just be like, hey,
Look what
when
you
he
did.
first released the phone, like look what your company did. Like, holy shit. First of all, I'm
Yeah.
mad about all
Your
these
company
things.
is worth $2 trillion.
Damn, dude. That's so fucking crazy.
You're worth more than a small country.
Dude, every time speaking of like companies that have a lot of money, anytime that Call of Duty has a problem, especially because there was one point to summarize what was happening for the better part of a month uh in Warzone in the Call of Duty Warzone where it's like 150 people playing, there was a glitch that was happening for all systems, PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. That if it was called like the gun glitch, transformer glitch, whatever you want to call it, if you picked up a certain weapon, when it got onto your screen, it looked like literally sharp things just shooting. It covered your entire screen. So there were times where if you picked up a
Oh,
gun, you
yeah.
couldn't actually use it, right? And anytime you ever got that, everybody's first response was, small indie company, they can't actually fix this. It's a multi-billion dollar company and they let this happen for a full month before they finally put out a patch. And it still happens
Jesus.
now where it's like random where people aren't complaining as much because it's like 1 in 1,000 where before it was like 1 in 2 chances. Um, but it's like the new Call of Duty that just came out, Black Ops, which by the way, my old tattoo artist, um, is a I fucking forgot his title, but anything with the vehicles, guns, and like other designs, the outsourcing and the pretty much anything that they outsource has to go through him. So he has to actually like submit the things that are going to be okay, like give the green light for things that are going to be okay in the game. And I was like, that's sick.
Hmm.
Because before he was just working on like one small part of a zombie game for Black Ops 3, whereas Black Ops 4, he's got this huge promotion.
That's dope.
So I told him I'd let him know how the game goes, but like there are small glitches in this game already. There's already problem with lobbies disconnecting and like you can't actually uh a lot of functionality problems, right? And they put out a fix within like 2 days already. They're already starting to fix it because it's like a
That's
slight
solid.
difference in companies. I forget. I always fuck them up. I know Treyarch's a big part of it, but it's just like you look at what companies actually care, right? Whereas like Apple admitted, hey, on our updates, your battery does take a shit. So we either force you to buy a new phone or you have to go get a battery replacement if you don't want to deal with the small or the lower battery usage now or
Mm-hmm.
higher battery usage. And it's like, fuck you. Fuck you. Just find a way, like put out multiple updates or something. You're a $1 trillion company.
Well, the battery thing with Apple has primarily to do with just battery degradation over time. Like
Well, no, but they
batteries
put out a
lose their
statement. It was
ability.
actually like
Well,
legitimate.
the thing that you're talking about is they like limit the phone's like capabilities because of the battery. And the reason they do that is because the battery is literally like physically degrading. And so if they keep the phone just running the way that it normally would without them having their software limit the usage or limit the charge, then it would continue to degrade the battery faster and faster and faster. So that's why they put out that thing, because they're like, hey, we legally have to tell you that we're doing this, but we're doing this because batteries suck the more you use them, and so we keep some of your like usage slower or not as high at capability, just so you don't further fuck up your battery even worse and make it completely like shit.
And like I get that to some extent. I just think there should be another, like, dude, we already paid you $1,200 for the new phone when it was out at the time, and now you've made every year another $1,200 off the people who just keep buying the new shit, who don't have like the upgrade fucking capabilities through their phone companies or whatever, or their network providers. Um Network providers. You know what I'm trying to say. But the
Yeah.
point being is like, hey, $1 trillion company, we're using your phone, right? If you don't want to put out an update, at least make replacing the battery more accessible and
Yeah,
or
I wish you could do
cheaper.
that.
Like it should be cheaper. Like what? Why does everything, dude? You made a fucking pen that costs $100, and you know how it charges? You take your fucking, this was the older pen. I think they fixed it now or did something different. But you took your fucking iPad that was already this big and then plugged in the pencil that was this big. So you have to make sure that the thing that is sitting this long on your desk doesn't fucking snap. Eat my dick. Also, don't know if you ever saw how their mouse works, their wireless mouse that they put out, but
Mm.
the charging port is at the bottom of the mouse, like at the underneath it. So if you need to charge it, you can't use it
What the fuck?
because that's where the sensor. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, that's design oversight.
That's not even design oversight. That's pure fucking stupidity.
Yeah.
There's no way with a $1 trillion company that there were multiple fucking people that went, yeah, no, that works. That it went through all these filters. No, it had to have been
Yeah.
a cash grab or something. There has to be a reason behind it that is a fucked up reason, because logically, why would you put it here? That's where I
Mhm.
need that. Oh, dude, it makes me so goddamn like beyond angry, because I'm
My
just like,
standards, I would say my standards for Apple when it comes to design and having like the best tech and having like smart tech aren't high. I like Apple because it's simple and has nice aesthetic and is user friendly, and a lot of people use it. But like I've come to over the years lower my bar when it comes to the quality and the design of the technology that I get,
mm,
because like that's like that's the thing. Like you think of Apple as the best, but when in reality, like Apple's just the richest. They're not the best.
yeah. I mean, they really aren't. And like Android has their fuck ups too. I mean, we've
Oh, I'm
all
sure.
seen it, but like,
I mean, Samsung had phones exploding on planes.
yeah, dude. And don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about what we have versus what we don't have. I'm saying the stupidity purely of the human beings that said that those things were okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Whereas,
It's when
like,
the
I
problem's
think,
preventable is when it's frustrating.
right. I think in the new iPad, I could be wrong. I was talking to a friend that got it. I think now with the iPad being here, it takes the pen and you attach it to the side so it stays on the lining of it, and that
Hmm.
charges it. I think.
Hmm.
I could be wrong.
I think I've seen something like that.
But it's just like, how did you get this design flaw so fucking wrong through, I know, hundreds? Okay, we'll go 10. Even if it was 10 people that had
Dozens.
to go, that mouse works for me. Fuck you,
Yeah.
man. Fuck you. You
Hmm.
suck. There's another thing that I was gonna look up with. It doesn't fucking matter. We got the point out. Um, I don't know.
But to answer your question, I still do feel extremely lucky to live in the day and age we
100%.
live in, even with stupid Apple mouses.
All complaints aside. And again, I'm only stressing this just out loud for myself. I don't give a fuck what other people are like. Wow, dude, you're really going to complain about that? No, I'm just saying, hey man, if I had a water bottle, right, like the one that I'm holding in my hand right now, I'm not going to make the mouthpiece where the water comes out at the bottom, because that wouldn't make sense. I'm not trying to shotgun my fucking water bottle every time I want to take a drink. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
design flaw.
At the end of the day, like this is something that I've been thinking about when it comes to problems and the way people handle problems, because everybody likes to kind of uh, fake pity, like condescendingly patronize people who talk about like first world problems. They're like, oh, like my Apple mouse is stupid, or my charger isn't working, or like YouTube is down, and people always respond with the which I think is fucking stupid response of, oh, there's children that are starving in Africa. It's like, it's first of all, it's overplayed as a response. But think of it this way: if we look at just our brains, if our brain pumps sad chemicals into it when something happens, then it's sad nonetheless, no matter what the thing is pumping the chemicals there. Whether that be like you like dropping your one African food in the dirt and now you're sad, or like you like crashing your car and you have to pay this massive payment of insurance. The chemicals going through your brain are still the same chemicals, and in some instances probably the same amount. And so you have to take each problem seriously based off of how seriously it affects you mentally, not how serious it is in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
if you
can
did that with
apply
everything,
that
then
to
there would
everything.
then the scale's too large, and you could never actually have. You couldn't stub your toe
Mhm.
without somebody being like, "Remember, don't complain, because people are dying." And it's like,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
stubbed
there's
my
always
fucking
someone
toe.
lower than you on the totem pole. Like, why are you complaining? You're not at the bottom of the totem pole. It's like, sure, but my thing that I'm experiencing sucks. And it sucks regardless if there's people below or above me on the totem pole. So let it suck.
You know what I learned here today? And it was while I literally, as you were explaining this, started thinking of, I wonder what the title of this is going to be. And it depends on how I want to place the comma. We either say, get better, comma, humans, because this is what the whole episode was about, or get better humans, just like bring in the better ones. But
we can discuss that when we wrap it up. We'll
Yeah.
see where that comma goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like, and this is the thing. People want to patronize and pretend and like downplay people's problems, even if they're first world problems, even if the person is a fucking multi-billionaire, or if they're just an average Joe in a random country. It's always like, oh, your problems aren't that serious, until that person is so far off the edge that they kill themselves. And then it's like, oh my God, I wish that they had just spoken out. Oh my God, I wish they had reached out to people. And it's like, if no matter how much money you make, no matter what society you live in, no matter where you are in life, there are people who are just like you, who are so far off the edge that they're willing to kill themselves. You should take each person's problem seriously, even if it has to do with crashing your new nice car, or your charger not working, or like you have to move to a less nice house. It doesn't matter what's causing the problem in your brain. It matters how your brain's reacting. And that's how you determine how serious you take it.
Yeah, agreed. That was a solid point.
Sounds like a wrap it up time.
Yes, sir.
I could read a room.
I can read a room, even though it's like a second behind and can't really tell right away. God, I can't wait to do this in person again, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
You just tell me when.
Hopefully. What I heard, I saw one tweet, so I have no idea if this is real or not, but doing a 6-week quarantine so that we can just get back out there sooner. Sure, fuck it.
I'm with it, man.
I'm
But my
down.
thing is, if you're gonna lock us up for 6 weeks, it better fucking work.
And if it doesn't work, be
If it
ready,
doesn't,
because we're gonna
fuck you.
fucking party.
Yeah, like if it doesn't work, do not be like, oh, we just need another 6 weeks. Like, suck my dick.
Because that's what you said in the
had your
very
chance.
beginning, and now we're 7 months deep.
Mhm.
What's up, dude? 8
Yeah.
months deep. Holy fuck. Happy 8 months, everybody. Yay. Actually, 8 months today was the last day I worked for my job. Sick.
Wow.
Well, the day I actually got let go. But episode 81, dude. It's nice.
Fuck yeah.
Remember, everybody, get better. Be better, humans. You fucking assholes. Stop killing everything. Stop complaining so much. But most importantly, go fuck yourself.
Bye.